This is CTV News with Nafisa Karim.
Our hunch was right. We have been able to recruit a significant number of American healthcare professionals.
BC hires hundreds of U.S. healthcare workers, cashing in on uncertainty and chaos south of the border. Is it enough to fill the gap?
We can find some creative solutions to get more people involved in our swimming lessons.
The struggle to secure swim lessons, how one island district is hoping you can help make them more accessible. Plus, Adam finds out how a Victoria woman was inspired to start cycling in search of beauty. Later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening and thank you for joining us. We begin tonight in the emergency room and halls of hospitals up and down Vancouver Island, where thousands of healthcare workers show up each day to deliver life-saving care. More and more these days, their ranks are being bolstered with new American recruits. CTV's Andrew Johnson shows us hundreds have signed up to serve north of the border in just the last year.
In British Columbia hospitals and clinics, hundreds of new Americans are now taking care of patients alongside their Canadian counterparts.
They're not just changing jobs. They are moving families, they're starting new chapters, they're building new lives.
414 of them, to be exact, says the health minister, since last March. Doctors, nurses, and people like psychologist Yanto West, formerly of Washington State.
We had to leave a lot behind in order to move so quickly. Our car paid off, but it couldn't convert to kilometers, so the car had to stay. But that said, I'm really loving my bike commute.
Last spring, BC launched a $5 million ad campaign in several U.S. states, taking advantage of what the health minister called uncertainty and chaos after the election of President Trump.
Our hunch was right. We have been able to recruit a significant number of American healthcare professionals.
But as the province pumps its plan, the BC Nurses Union, while calling the American recruitment great news, is also putting the numbers in perspective.
We had about 4,500 permanent vacancies. And so while 260 nurses is a great start, it really is a drop in the bucket.
The chronic nursing shortage is an issue across the country, partially related to the number of people who quit within the first 5 years.
We need to actually start with retaining the nurses that we have, frankly. Many nurses continue to leave the profession due to, frankly, burnout and poor working conditions.
The province repeated its pitch today, honing in on left-leaning Americans, making note of Canada's public health care system, protection of reproductive rights, and inclusive communities. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Many of those healthcare workers have made their way to Vancouver Island, integrating into the workforce. CTV's Andy Garland caught up with two healthcare professionals who are settling into a new life in Canada.
Dr. Ann Royal-Herdman is a pathologist at Nanaimo Regional General Hospital.
I am moving here from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and originally from St. Louis, Missouri.
Her and her family made the move north in September, and after going through Trump's first administration, followed by a mass shooting at the hospital she worked at in 2022, she knew she had to make a change.
That just brought everything into clear focus, and I came home that day and said, we have to get out of here.
And when Trump was reelected, nurses Brandy and Kelly from California and Arizona made the same decision and have been working at NRGH for several months.
Where I was at was not the way that I believed anymore or ever believed.
Things exponentially got crazy. The ICE came, and then the big beautiful bill passed, and I knew that it was not going to get any better.
Come to BC.
It's been a year since the province launched a recruitment campaign to attract U.S. healthcare workers to BC.
More than 400 healthcare professionals have accepted job offers within BC's public healthcare system. That includes 89 doctors, 260 nurses.
Nearly 100 of those healthcare workers are working within Island Health.
Some Nanaimo, but also Port Alberni, Tofino, Victoria, other communities on Vancouver Island. They are settling well.
And for Ann, Brandy, and Kelly, the move has been the right one.
Oh, gosh, it's the best thing we've ever done. I can't recommend it highly enough.
Became a Canadian in my heart, and hopefully very, very soon.
The warm welcome has been mind-blowing.
And they feel this is just the tip of the iceberg and believe more and more will continue to make the move.
I think that Canada will benefit tremendously from the brain drain leaving.
Andy Garland, CTV News, Nanaimo.
The family of a missing Courtney man is renewing their call for help to find their missing brother 6 years later. 51-year-old Michael Gazettis went missing the morning of January 31st, 2020, after he left his home in Courtney. It's believed Gazettis may have headed into the forest. Friends and family say the film location scout had extensive knowledge of the backcountry. Despite a massive search effort, neither Gazettis nor his truck were seen again. Police and family are hoping with new people exploring the backcountry, observant hikers, campers, and hunters may spot a clue to help investigators and get closure for his family. He was driving his red 2011 Ford Ranger pickup when he disappeared and was last seen wearing a black shirt and vest under a red and blue poncho. He was also wearing dark jeans and a green toque. Anyone with information is asked to contact Comox Valley RCMP. A new 48-unit housing facility for people experiencing homelessness in the Cowichan Valley is about to welcome its first residents. The new building on White Road will offer homes for people 19 years and older. The building was funded through BC Housing and will be operated by the nonprofit Connective Support Society, with staff on site 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Residents will be provided with 2 meals per day, as well as on-site case management and health and wellness programs.
We've got really experienced staff. We'll also be connecting them to other community services or health services if that's what they are interested in. We can link them in with our employment programs and make sure that they're, accessing all of the benefits that they might be eligible for, really to help them take the next steps on whatever journey or path that they are hoping for.
Some of the new residents will come from the temporary supportive housing site on Trunk Road, known as The Village. Connective says it is in the final stages of identifying who will be a good fit for the new building and hopes to start moving people in early next month. The District of North Cowichan is looking for feedback from the community when it comes to improving access to swim lessons. Learning to swim is a critical life-saving skill, although for many parents, getting your little ones into a lesson can be a challenge. Last year, the Cowichan Aquatic Center provided 431 sessions of swim lessons to 2,500 people, and the center says there wasn't enough space for everyone. Classes filled up as soon as registration opened, and wait lists were common. The district has now released a community survey inviting families to share their experiences after attempting to get their children into lessons. The feedback collected will help identify barriers to participation as well as guide improvements to the programming and registration process.
We know that we're experiencing challenges with our registration process, so we're hoping that we can find some creative solutions to get more people involved in our swimming lessons through an easier registration process. Some of the ideas that we have are the idea of a randomized registration process, so it makes it a little bit more fair and equitable for people.
The survey can be found on the Connect North Cowichan website. It closes on March 29th, and the district hopes to implement some of its more creative findings next year. The Snuneymuxw First Nation has purchased a downtown Nanaimo hotel, adding to the nation's growing list of acquisitions in recent years. The Petroglyph Development Group, a wholly owned corporation of the First Nation, now fully owns the Courtyard by Marriott. Previously, the hotel, which currently employs 48 people, was co-owned through a partnership with a Utah-based company. The nation says this acquisition is part of its long-term approach to sustainable economic development to support its people and the region. In the past year, the nation has announced the purchase of 5 casinos, including the Nanaimo Casino and Elements Casino in Victoria. A downtown Victoria arts hub is in desperate need of an angel investor to keep its theater space on Johnson Street. The Other Guys Society purchased a former grocery store space on Lower Johnson Street in 2024. This month, they have learned that a key investor needed to pull out of the project, and to make up the loss, it's looking for a $1.25 million boost. The Multi-Platform Art Society says if it doesn't recoup the lost funds by April 1st, it'll have to put the space up for sale.
Part of the long-term stability solution for space in Victoria is for artists to own their own space. So that's the unique opportunity here. That is why there should be public investment in a project like this, and why donors should be taking a chance on this and seeing if we can make it work. It's part of the long-term stability for arts.
Other Guys Society says it's concerned the downtown core will lose another arts hub, but says the society itself will live on and look for other places to perform. Still to come, President Donald Trump lashes out at NATO and U.S. allies.
NATO's making a very foolish mistake, and I've long said that, I wonder whether or not NATO would ever be there for us.
And why a top U.S. counterterrorism official quit over the war with Iran.
Wet and a little windy, gusts to about 30 or 40 kilometers per hour in Victoria this afternoon. It's currently 11 degrees. Looks like that'll be the daytime high for today. More showers in the forecast for tomorrow, more heavy rain on the west coast. All those details after the break.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Make the most of your next vacation by booking with those who've been there. Visit expediacruises.ca.
Josh joins us now, and this rainy trend continues.
Yeah, we're going to show you the Pineapple Express in a second that continues to be pointed right at the island. It's more wet than waterlogged in and around Victoria, which is kind of what we were expecting. Heaviest of the rainfall has been through inland areas and out on the west coast, and that's where we will continue to see the heaviest of the rainfall. You have a yellow level for inland areas, and then an orange level for elevated impacts potentially out on the west coast. And some of the heaviest of the rainfall here overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning is going to be south of Tofino, although Tofino will get a good dose of rain as well. There's your Pineapple Express. There's your heavy rain, heavier in the darker green. So a lot of the heaviest of the rainfall today has been stateside, but you can see Clulet all the way to Port Renfrew has had some heavier, steadier rain, and that will continue through this evening and overnight. Tonight, more showers as well for the Victoria area. Kind of breaks down across parts of the west coast there through the morning hours. And even in Victoria, I think we'll get a break in the morning before the showers return in the afternoon. Look at, there's another punch of some heavier rain through the afternoon and evening hours tomorrow. So I think by tomorrow morning, you're going to get about 40 to 50 in Tofino. You could see closer to 100 here in the dark purple zones, though, around Port Renfrew. And then through the course of the day, Wednesday up to Thursday morning, yeah, you get another punch in Tofino. You're up close to 70 already by Thursday morning, and well over 100 here in the gray zones. Victoria, you get about 5 to 10. 5 to 10 as well in the north tomorrow with a high of 12, and then another 10 to 15 on Thursday. I think it's still wet through into Friday, Saturday. It's probably not until Sunday that things start to significantly dry up. 12s for inland areas tomorrow. 5 to 15 in the Port Alberni region. I think you might see a bit more in some other areas, especially higher elevations, and then a bit heavier there, 10 to 20 millimeters on Thursday. Out on the west coast, 10 to 20 tomorrow in Tofino after a soaker overnight tonight. And then again, Wednesday night through Thursday, you get some heavier, steadier rain. Afternoon showers in Comox. Otherwise, just mostly cloudy. High of 13 tomorrow. A few showers in the forecast as well for Thursday and Friday, but nothing really overly heavy, and some fairly warm temperatures. Nanaimo as well into the 12 to 15 degree range for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so well above average. Chance of some showers tomorrow, a little better bet for some rain on Thursday. And in Victoria, 10 degrees tomorrow morning, just 12 for a daytime high, so just slightly above average. Cloudy through the day, rain tonight, then a break, and then some showers rolling back in through the afternoon and evening, and a good 10 to 15, some steadier rain in the forecast. For Thursday, looks like drier conditions roll in once we hit Saturday, Sunday as the sunshine starts to return. CTV Weather is brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So again, not as wet in Victoria, but you will still see some showers. West Coast going to get hammered over the next 24 hours.
All right, thank you, Josh. A train has derailed after a mudslide in the northwestern part of the province, sending several rail cars off the tracks and onto the banks of a local river. It happened just before 1 p.m. yesterday along the Skeena River near Port Edward, which is 15 kilometers south of Prince Rupert. CN Rail says several empty grain cars derailed along with the lead locomotive. due to the slide, and all of the crew got out safe, though. CN adds there were no dangerous commodities, leaks, or exposures, and no danger to the public as a result of the derailment. BC's Auditor General is criticizing the province's recovery response to the Lytton wildfire that burned the entire community nearly 5 years ago. The report states the province expected the overwhelmed village to lead its own rebuilding and lacked a clear legal framework around the response. It also calls the lack of collaboration with local First Nations a missed opportunity. Premier Eby saying today he acknowledges there were some lessons learned, and the takeaway from them is new legislation now requiring partnerships for recovery efforts such as this. More than $51 million has been provided so far by the province for Lytton's recovery. The U.S. president is still trying to persuade allies to send in reinforcements to secure the critical Strait of Hormuz. Donald Trump justifying the U.S. and Israeli war in Iran as he faced his first public defection over the war. CTV's Joy Malbin reports.
Thank you very much for being here.
Greeting the Irish Prime Minister in the Oval Office, President Donald Trump lashed out at NATO and U.S. allies for not joining the war against Iran.
I think NATO's making a very foolish mistake, and I've long said that, I wonder whether or not NATO would ever be there for us. So this was a great test, because we don't need them.
As his top counterterrorism official just quit publicly. A stinging resignation. Joe Kent posted on X he could not in good conscience support the war, saying Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. A shocking surprise among the president's loyal ranks. Kent openly questioned the president's judgment.
He was weak on security. It's a good thing that he's out, because he said that Iran was not a threat. Iran was a threat. Every country realized what a threat Iran was.
The president praised his Arab allies taking the brunt of it after most NATO nations bowed out. France's President Emmanuel Macron said, France did not choose this war. We are not taking part in it. And from Britain's Prime Minister,
we will not be drawn into the wider war.
Trump wanted their help to safeguard the Strait of Hormuz, but it's risky. With tankers on fire, Iran has blocked the critical waterway for oil, sending gas prices soaring. Trump grumbled.
Everyone agrees with us, but they don't want to help. And we as the United States have to remember that, because we think it's pretty shocking.
The president's pressure campaign on allies so far coming up empty. As for his timeline, Trump said the U.S. is not ready to leave Iran yet, but will in the near future. Joy Malbin, CTV News, Washington. Coming up, petrol-powered. Adam meets a woman searching for beauty by bike. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Finally, Adam meets a woman riding a bike full of flowers on a mission to find and share beauty on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Before she began cycling with a basket full of flowers, Angela Gabaldon was trying to ride her first bike without training wheels.
Big brother just pushed me down a hill and said, go at it, and I did.
That fearlessness was tested a few years later when Angela's grandpa bought her and her brother their first 10 speeds.
And halfway home, he stopped his truck. He took the bikes off the back of the truck. He said, here you go, and he pulled away and drove home.
Although they were left in the middle of nowhere, by the time they found their way back, Angela felt like she could go anywhere.
It was the best thing anyone has ever done for me in my entire life.
If that was empowering, the first time Angela rode this bike, it was inspiring.
And I was like, that's really pretty.
She'd stopped at a park, and the color of her horn seemed to complement the rising sun.
And I took a picture. I was like, yeah, that's so perfect.
Well, the experience felt so positive, Angela wondered if there might be more places to pose her bike.
Yes, I feel like I'm always searching for something.
And since she started actively looking, despite only being an amateur photographer, Angela says she's been consistently finding beauty.
It's magic. It's magic. It's totally magic.
It's like discovering a hidden gem, Angela says. So she named her bike Jewels before fueling their rides with a basket full of flowers.
I see the rhododendron bush in the corner, and I see the guy over there who is just being really nice and smiling to somebody, and I see beautiful sunrises and beautiful sunsets, and you know what? I love to share those things.
Although she simply started sharing the photos of Jules with her friends, they began sharing them with their friends. And now, 4 years later, thousands of people appreciate her countless artful peddler pictures on social media.
If I can make somebody else's day better, then that makes me really happy, and that makes me feel really fulfilled.
So skip the training wheels, push yourself forward, and start looking out in the middle of anywhere, Angela says. You'll find there's beauty everywhere.
Open your eyes and see what's out there.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by Coastal Community Credit Union. Bank happy at Coastal Community Credit Union.
Open your eyes and see what's out there. That is it for CTV News Vancouver Island. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night.